Lot number 13 is a story about the inimitable Mullah Nasruddin, the wise fool of Oriental folklore, and along with it comes a set of 3 signed manuscripts for Nasruddin books, if you can call them that I published earlier this year. One of them is called The Voyages and Vicissitudes of Nasruddin. Another is The Misadventures of the Mystifying Nasruddin. And the last is The Peregrinations of the Perplexing Nasruddin. I hope whoever wins this will enjoy the manuscripts and the story as much as I have writing the stories myself.
Shanghai, China. Camouflage. Although doing his best to blend in with local culture, Nasrudin managed to offend one of the most powerful triad families in China. Terrified out of his wits, he spent weeks hiding from the gang members. But whenever he slipped out of his hiding place to buy food, he would spot more of them, each one dressed in baggy black clothes, every inch of their skin tattooed. Suddenly, an idea slipped onto the stage of his mind. He bought a black outfit and hurried into the tattoo parlor across the street. "What would you like tattooed?" the artist asked, taking in an unlikely customer. Nasrudin glanced at the walls, which were covered with triad tattoos. He pointed to the most elaborate full-body tattoo he could see. "That," he said. As he prepared his equipment and the inks, the artist cocked his head at the picture on the walls. "If you don't mind me asking, why would a man like you want a triad tattoo like that?" Nasrudin smiled wryly, as though he were about to outwit his pursuers. "Camouflage," he said. San Sebastian, Spain. Cat currency. Yet another financial meltdown had rocked the world's global markets, leaving Nasrudin with little confidence in established currencies. So he went to a butcher and spent all his money on sausages. From that day on, he paid for everything in them, bartering on a system he had drawn up that was fair. Those he met thought it was a little eccentric, but they expected nothing less from the wise fool, who had turned up in the city a month or so before. In any case, the sausages were delicious, and people were only too happy to eat them. One night, having discovered the store of currency while his owner slept, Nasrudin's cat gobbled up his entire stock of sausages. The wise fool was angry at the animal, but appeared as usual at the grocer's the next day. When it was time to pay for the mountain of vegetables he had selected, the wise fool sniffed. "I've changed currencies," he said. "I no longer pay in sausages." The grocer looked up at the customer sternly. "Then what are you going to pay me in?" "In a new currency." "And what is it?" "It's called the cat." Istanbul, Turkey. Shadowman. Nasrudin went for a haircut in a side street near the Galata Tower. Having left his suitcase just inside the door, he sat down on the chair. Within a minute or two, the barber had got down to work with his scissors. He cocked his head over to the luggage. "So, are you traveling alone?" "Oh no," Nasrudin responded. "Anwar's with me." "Who's Anwar? Your son?" "No, my shadow." The barber frowned. "But a shadow isn't a person, so it can't have a name." The wise fool shrugged. "Who says a shadow can't have a name?" "Because they don't." "Yes, they do. In my homeland, all the shadows have names." "Really?" "Yes." After a lifetime of cutting hair, the barber had heard all kinds of tall tales, but never anything so strange as shadows having names. Silence prevailed for a while. Then, rekindling the conversation, the barber sniffed. "So, tell me, what is the population of people in your country?" Nasrudin narrowed his eyes. "With or without shadows?" he asked.